Hello again, and welcome again to another episode of Pass the Controller. Today we have something special. Me and Tony are going to be talking about the Game Awards that just recently happened. In addition to that, we're also going to be going into some elements on the PlayStation experience. So we got a lot of fun stuff to talk about today.
Yeah, tons of good stuff, man. It's second year of the Video Game Awards, and they're pretty good. I like the direction they're going in. You know, I can deal without the musical performances. Like, I love churches. Like, don't get me wrong, but like, I don't need that. I don't need that shit.
I was actually kind of hoping for like more video game music.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's a video game award show. Fantastic for the people who were involved there, but why wouldn't they be playing video game music? Like, the only game music that was played was Quiet's song.
Yeah. I don't know. Like, it's whatever. It's all part of the marketing machine, because that's all that award show is. It's just a giant marketing machine. You know, they're trying to make they're trying to make money, and that's what it's all about. So, you know, whatever. But
yeah, that's true. But I don't know.
Whatever. But anyways, what do you want to get into first? You want to get into some of these awards? You want to get into reveals? What do you want?
Let's you know what? Let's start out with a couple of the awards.
Sure.
The award that I really was happy to see
was
the how Splatoon beat out a bunch of.
I was gonna say you're on that Splatoon train.
Oh my
man.
God! I was so happy to see that. It's Splatoon won best shooter.
Yeah, it's the best shooter of the year by far. I think it's not even a question.
Yeah, but it's like, here's the thing. It beats out Counter-Strike. It beats out Taken King. It beat out Blops 3. It beat out Halo 5.
Okay, so Destiny, Taken King. I mean, as a shooter, not much has changed since the last time. I feel like that was just on there. It was on there just because it should be on there, because it's Destiny. I don't know if that's the only reason. Black Ops 3, not many people are talking awesome about that game. You know, people really liked Advanced Warfighter, but like Black Ops 3, they said it's just like Star Wars Battlefront. No, I mean,
Battlefront. Well, here's the thing. Most of these were competent multiplayer shooters, but the single player just wasn't there. It wasn't there at all. It's like hell, Star Wars Battlefront, the single player just consisted of what? Survival mode?
Yeah, I didn't know. That game is not very feature rich. From everything that I've heard, it's like, hey, this is a fun game. It's a great time to play, but it's only great for about 10 hours. Like, once you're done with the multiplayer, it's just like, okay, there's no reason to keep going, so why even play this game? And that's how I felt about it. Like, I played the shit out of the beta and enjoyed it. I was like, hey, this is great. Is this it though? Like, is this it? And ultimately, yeah, that is all it is. So
I will say that, but to me, the best part about that game was installing it. You can run around as Darth Vader, just slaughtering rebels, which I thought was actually pretty damn fun. And actually, I recorded it and popped it up on YouTube. Honestly, cool. All that I played Battlefront for 3 days, and then I kind of got bored of it.
Yeah. So, and that's $60. Yeah. You just spent $60 in a game you're probably not going to go back to. Like, fuck that.
I'll pop on it here and there if I have more people playing with, but that's the thing with multiplayer games. You're either in a clan or you have friends that play it. And if there's no single player content to keep you interested,
what's the point? And their progression system sucks too. Like, there's no, like, the guns aren't different enough. There isn't enough, like, different abilities. It's like, what's the fucking point?
Well, the guns are different enough, but anyone who pre-ordered the game gets a super pistol.
Wait.
Correction.
The guns are not different enough. Don't even try to say that, because just playing the beta alone, you get access to what? I think you got access to like 5 or 4.
No. Yeah, you got access to 4 different guns.
Every single gun felt the exact same. They fired damn near the same. It just, there was not enough difference. Like, don't sell that.
No. I'm not saying that they were very different, but I did feel like you had the machine gun, you had the long range gun, and you had the pistol. That was pretty much the difference. And you had, you had 2 different assault rifles. One of them fired a little faster than the other, while the other one was a little Well, that one was also a little bit more inaccurate, but overall, not that much different.
Not even close to the amount of differentiation that there is on, let's say, a legitimate Battlefield game. Like,
Yes.
yeah. So
Battlefield
no,
was a lot better.
You're not gonna sell me on that, Kyle. But anyways, getting back to the point, Splatoon is the best shooter, 100%. It did something totally unique and novel, and Nintendo keeps supporting it with free DLC, and like then they patched in a single player mode. Like
No, single player mode has been there since the beginning.
Oh really? I thought they patched that in.
Oh no, Splatoon had a single player mode straight up from release, and it was repetitive at times, but the final boss was probably the best shooter final boss I've seen in a long time.
So there you go, like exactly why Nintendo got that. And you know what? I'm actually kind of pissed that Nintendo got snubbed through everything else at the awards. Like I almost feel like they gave Splatoon this award because they're like, hey, we can't give Mario Maker an award, which it deserves. But
oh my god. But then what category would they give it in?
Best game ever. No.
Best YouTube game.
They know what they need. They need a category that's like most innovative.
Best Nintendo game.
It's just like most like innovative feature for games. Like, that would best narrative. That's a good. I like that as category. Best independent game. I like that. These awards are very very cookie cutter. Like I want most innovative or like coolest new character. Like
you mean like best family game?
Yeah, what the fuck does that mean? What is that? That is the dumbest.
Correction,
category.
Mario Maker won Best Family Game. That's the Mario Maker category.
That's not even an award.
I know. Let's see. The nominations for that was Disney Infinity, Lego Dimensions, Skylanders, Splatoon, and Super Mario Maker.
Okay, so 3 Toys to Life games and then Mario games. That nobody even voted for that category. Everyone was just like, no, this is dumb. That's terrible award. Nobody. Fuck that.
So personally, my roommate has Disney Infinity, and and the game actually is competent. I'll give it that, but it's not nearly as it doesn't have nearly as much family fun as say like a Super Mario Maker game.
Yeah.
You can have your kid building your dad a stage, and oh look, he filled it with nothing but giant Goombas. Yeah, it's good for families. And then you have like the super crazy, good God, what the hell are you on stages?
Yeah,
like the Kaizo stages or whatever.
No, Mario Maker is like it's the craziest concept that actually works out really really well. It's like you take a look at a game like Little Big Planet, which is basically the same damn thing, but you're taking so you have to introduce Little Big Planet as a concept, and then you have to introduce everything else that makes up Little Big Planet. Whereas with Mario, everybody knows what Mario is at this point. It's every person who's ever played a video game. He's one of the most recognizable figures in all of the world. Like, don't kid yourself. He is like Mickey Mouse. Like everybody knows Mario, and they know his games. So there is already an innate understanding of how the game works, and now you're giving every person out there the tool set to make those games and to play them. It's great. No, it's awesome. It should win a lot more awards than just best family game.
I agree. Yes, but like I said, the thing is, it doesn't really fit in any other categories aside from maybe Game of the Year or like maybe games for impact, but best score.
No. But yeah, I just think they need a couple more categories here. I like the show as a whole. Like I'm not big on award shows in general, but it seems like this one's fairly unbiased when it comes to like some of the winners.
For the most part, yes. Though I think one game that kind of annoyed me on how it just kept winning everything was Her Story.
Yeah, but
the game's good. Really cool. Don't get me wrong, the game's fantastic.
Really cool. Well, it only won two. Cool. It won what? Best independent and best performance or something.
Yeah, personally, I think best performance should have gone to Mark Hamill because his Joker was.
But he's done the Joker so many times. I don't agree.
But the thing is, he's never won for it. I was gonna say if you wanted to give someone an award just so they have one, this was a good year to do it.
I don't know.
Either that or Ashley Birch for Life is Strange. I think she should have either her or Mark Hamill should have won that one. At least when it comes to best performance, best narrative. Let's see. Let me take a look at the categories. Yeah, best narrative. I think Tales from the Borderlands should have taken that one, because that one added so many dimensions to the game. Was really fantastic.
Good. I heard that.
Telltale did a phenomenal job, and they did. That is an example of how episodic gaming should work.
Yeah, and I heard that it's actually like it has like the humor of Borderlands, but it also gets serious at times.
Yeah.
And
very serious, and it has lasting effects in terms of characters that you've known. It's not just the new characters, but some of the known characters are involved heavily.
Yeah, like Scooter.
Yeah, Scooter.
I know some of the spoilers.
Well, I'm not going to reveal too many.
Well, yeah,
of them,
obviously not, because of all the people that are going to listen to this. You know, all 6 people that are going to hear this,
Jackass.
It'll ruin it.
Jackass.
Okay, but
Speaking of which, yeah, I do not agree with Greg Miller winning trending gamer. It should have been me, by far.
Yeah, totally. What about best independent game? Like, so Rocket League wins.
That I think was a fantastic choice.
Right. I almost feel like
that is the epitome of an independent game.
I almost feel like that game isn't independent at this point, because everybody talks about is fucking Rocket League. Like, Rocket League is everywhere at all times. Like, I almost feel like that's like, you know, a contender for game of the year for some people.
It was a contender for me for game of the year. It wasn't listed, but granted, all the games that were listed are your AAA your AAA giant game.
Your own personal game of the year. You know, my personal game of the year is actually on this list too. Can you guess what game it is on the best independent games?
Best independent game? Let's take a look. See.
Yeah,
right, we got Axiom Verge, Her Story, Ori and the Blind Forest, Rocket League, and Undertale. Clearly, you're a Her Story guy.
No, dude, Undertale, man.
Yeah,
Undertale was so good.
That was a good game.
That game is so fantastic. I played that in a day. I bought it. I was like, let's get into this. I was just so zoned in on it. I love the music, so good. It's genuinely funny. There's not many games I've ever played that I legit laughed out loud. Like, I'm a big comedy fan. Like, I love comedy. Yeah. And I'm the type of guy, like, when I'm watching stand-up, like, I laugh. But most of it, I'm just, like, analyzing it. I'm just watching it. I'm not laughing.
I cry.
But like when something is like super duper funny, I crack up. That's what this game had at multiple times. And it was fucking interesting, and it pulls on your heartstrings, and the art is interesting. It's such a good game.
It is a very good game. I definitely agree with you on that one. Though you mentioned the music, do you agree that Metal Gear Solid 5 should have won the best soundtrack?
Yeah, because they licensed all that random ass music. Kojima went down swinging. It was great. I wonder how much money he spent just on licensing music alone. It's great, man. I love it. I absolutely love it.
Definitely. Though, for me, it was between Metal Gear Solid 5 and Fallout 4. I am a huge fan of the older older music, so it's
yeah. You know what? I really wish Undertale made this list too, because that sounds.
I was gonna say when you mentioned all the licensed music for Metal Gear Solid 5, Fallout 4 is nothing but licensed music.
Yeah,
as my YouTube copyright claims have shown me.
But Metal Gear Solid 5 is like fucking off the wall.
Okay.
Licensed music, like it's like all like random 80s music, and then like classical stuff. Like, it just doesn't even make any sense. The game makes no sense, and I love it.
Well, it's Metal Gear Solid 5.
It's just Kojima being Kojima. I am so interested to see what that guy does next. Obviously, he's not going to the Game Awards because.
Correction, no, he wasn't allowed to go to it this year because of the no compete clause or whatever the hell.
Right, no, it was a joke. I was just trying to bring up the fact that Konami is a bunch of fucking vindictive fuckers.
Yeah, they are. And
bunch of dickheads, man.
That annoyed the hell out of me.
It's Kojima's crowning achievement in his career so far, and you don't let him go.
But it's Konami. Konami is.
I know
Konami is now up there with EA in terms of piece of shit companies.
Yeah, but at least EA makes money. Konami doesn't even make any money.
This is true. Very, very true. All right, well, speaking of the independent in your Undertale game, That also was up for best role-playing game, which
what won that one? Oh, Witcher.
the same game that won all the other major categories.
Yeah.
I liked The Witcher, but I disagree in that it should have won. Personally, I still say Fallout 4 should have won that one. But
yeah, I am surprised about the lack of love for that game, but at the same time,
they didn't
Fallout
win anything.
But you know what? Fallout 4 just came out. You know, it's just like Oscar season, man. You want to come out at the right time to get noticed for that. Like, I understand that like Fallout 4 is one of the most like anticipated games that's ever happened, but at the same time, it literally just came out in November. We're creeping into December now. That's 1 month for people to like get their hands on that game. And I know people have played a lot of it, and honestly, if you look at some of the like really high profile critics in gaming right now, not all of them were like super duper jazzed about Fallout 4. It's like, okay, it's just kind of more of the same, and
it wasn't more of the same.
I totally agree with that. I'm not a Fallout fan in general, but like, you know, they add a lot of like cool new stuff. Like, I think what they did well was making the crafting system, like making your weapons and stuff. That's amazing. That's
the crafting system's great. The settlement construction thing is pretty good.
But it's just Minecraft. It's the Minecraftification of all
Minecraft
games.
Fallout. It's the Sims Fallout, but that's the point. It's fun.
But like, I just don't like how
it was a good element to add.
I don't disagree that some people really like it. I just don't agree that every game should have that in there. Like, Fallout to me is not a game that should be trying to do that. You know, like, I don't know. Like, I'm not a big fan of Minecraft just in general as a concept. I've never liked any of those games, like Terraria or Starbound or any of those games. I've never gotten really into
loved Minecraft. I wasn't too big into Terraria and Starbound myself because it's like I didn't really like the 2D like the whole 2D construction. I don't
have any fun in those games. Okay. I don't understand what the fun is. So then you add that into Fallout, which already has you collecting a billion things constantly, and you get encumbered so damn quickly. And now it's like you're just adding all these layers to it that, in my opinion, is not adding any fun to it. It's just adding more bullshit you have to deal with. I don't know. Like, nothing against Fallout fans in general, but like I don't like Bethesda games. I'm just going to go out there and say it. I have not liked a Bethesda game in a very long time. So, I mean, that's... Yeah, I'm just not into it.
You weren't a big fan of Skyrim?
Nope.
Really?
Nope. Okay. The last one that I kind of enjoyed was Oblivion. That's because, like, I was watching my buddies play that game, and it's just like, you know, at the time, you know, get drunk a lot and watch people play Oblivion. It's just like, dude, this guy's just running and jumping in a field. It's like, yeah, bro, I gotta get my athletics up. Like, that was funny. True story. Okay, here, story time. So I'm up visiting a friend at a college. It's a couple hours away from here.
Yeah.
We're drinking all night. We're having fun. Like, we're playing. We're partying. We're doing all that.
Really?
And in the morning, I wake up. I just like kind of roll off the couch and look over. My buddy Jeff is sitting in the exact same spot that he was left when I fell asleep at 3 o'clock in the morning, and he's kind of sitting there like hung over, just slouched a little bit. Like, hey, Jeff, what are you doing, man? And legitimately, his thumb is just pressing forward, hitting the jump button over and over again. His eyes are closed. It's like he's asleep, but he's just running through a field jumping. I'm like, what are you doing, dude? Like, my athletics. Just trying to get my athletics up. It's like, you go to sleep, man. It's like, no, I'm good. I'm good. It's like, wait. So maybe that's why I like that game because of that moment. But yeah, I don't know. Just Bethesda games, like I don't like them. So
all right, well, fair enough. But all right, so let's see. What other categories do we got? We got
best fighting game. I disagree with. Guilty Gear should have won that. Just based on graphics alone, that game should have won. But just Mortal Kombat, it's more of a name.
Guilty Gear is your anime fighter.
And it's fucking good. And
it
is.
It's
a good game. It's a great game. You know what? And Rising Thunder should have got more votes too because I played the shit out of that beta. I really enjoyed it. I like how they kind of stripped it down, but there's still very much a lot of strategy going on in that game. Yeah. I think they need more characters.
That might be why. So
that's going to come in time. But I mean, just again, this Rising Thunder should be in a category for best innovation. Like, who would have thought to make a free-to-play fighting game that still like functions really, really well? I really expect big things out of that game when it finally when the full release comes out. It's gonna be pretty cool. What I think that's pretty much everything. I mean, do you want to talk about best action adventure game?
Action adventure game was just another Metal Gear Solid 5 win.
Sports or racing game.
Yeah. They actually picked a game that wasn't really sports. Well, it was kind of sports. It was
Rocket League is totally.
It was car polo.
Yeah, Rocket League is totally it's
fantastic
soccer,
game.
Man.
Yeah, soccer.
Okay,
Soccer, polo, same thing.
Let's talk about most anticipated. So Horizon Zero Dawn, No Man's Sky, Quantum Break, The Last Guardian, Uncharted 4. So before we say who the winner is, who is your winner?
For me, I love the Uncharted series, though I am also looking forward to either through No Man's Sky as well. I'm not really that convinced with The Last Guardian because I wasn't a big fan of Shadow of the Colossus, though it kind of looks exactly like it, except with pretty graphics.
It was so good.
I'm not saying it was bad. It's just not. I never really got into it.
You disagree with my opinion. You are a terrible person.
No, clearly. Clearly, Mr. I Hate Bethesda.
They're so bad. Oh.
Quantum Break I haven't really seen too much of, so I can't really get anticipated on, and I can't really get anticipated on Horizon Zero Dawn.
Really? Horizon Zero Dawn looks
I haven't really
good.
Yeah, I haven't really seen enough of it to really warrant it. It's the one where you're like shooting robots with a bow and arrow.
Yeah, robot dinosaurs.
Oh, that game. Okay.
Yeah, it looks
right.
So good. Yeah. I'm shocked it even made this list, in all honesty. I didn't think it would make it. I'm glad that it made. I wouldn't pick that as my winner, but I like that people are jazzed about that game as much as I am.
Okay.
I think No Man's Sky winning was the right choice because we've been hearing about this game forever. And it's finally about to come out, and it's great.
Yeah.
Last Guardian was too much of a tease. Uncharted 4 is. I mean, I don't even know if
the
you can
swan
call it
song of Nathan Drake.
I don't know if you even call it anticipated because it's beyond that. It's of course you're excited about that game. It's gonna be awesome. And like you said, it's Nate Drake's last game. So
correction, it's Naughty Dog's last game. So we don't know what's gonna happen to Nathan Drake, if he's gonna die or if he's gonna retire.
Dude, I would hate for them to license that out to somebody else. God, that would suck.
I think they're probably gonna license out the Uncharted series. They're just gonna say it's not a Nathan Drake game, kind of like what Bungie did with Halo.
Dumb. I don't like it.
Yeah, I agree, but I think that is my guess of what they're gonna be doing. But yeah, to me, it was in between No Man's Sky and Uncharted, and I am looking forward to No Man's Sky quite a bit.
And you know what? That game looks like a Minecrafty game, and I'm still gonna play that game because there's more stuff in it.
Actually, it kind of looks like a Minecraft version of Starbound.
Yep.
Starbound, yeah. Or I was gonna say Terraria, but no. I'm thinking of the wrong. Terraria wasn't space. Starbound was.
Yeah, Starbound was space.
So yeah, definitely No Man's Sky and Starbound. So, but everything else would be like all esports game, esports team, which
nobody cares about that stuff. Those are categories that need to go. It needs to go.
Yeah, it's like esports player of the year. Oh, whoopity doo. Then again, no, great for the kid. Not really too big for anyone. It's like they're trying to make them more celebrities, but whatever.
Screw it.
Yeah, esports game of the year. Yeah, it's Counter-Strike. Whoopity doo. Yep, now if they actually had a more unusual esports game, then I could give the category some merit. But no, it's just Call of Duty Adward, Counter-Strike, Dota, Hearthstone, League of Legends, games that.
Where's Heroes of the Storm?
There's no Heroes of the Storm. There was no
League.
There was no Rocket League. It's like it's just all that one.
Street Fighter.
That one was a self-stroke award.
Yeah.
So
just beating their own dicks.
Pretty much. But yeah, then there was, like I said, Game of the Year, and as I said, Mario Maker should have won that, but I would have been okay with with Fallout or Witcher 3 winning it, and the overall winner being Witcher 3. I wasn't too upset with it, even though I still feel that Fallout 4 should have gotten it. But then again, as you said before, it hasn't been out long enough.
I feel like the more interesting conversation, like I agree, Witcher 3 should have won Game of the Year, but I think the more interesting conversation is Developer of the Year.
Okay.
So you got Bethesda, CD Projekt Red, From Software, Kojima Productions, Konami, and Nintendo. Now, Nintendo, they had Splatoon, they had Mario Maker.
Yes. But then again,
that was it. Those were the two big releases this past year. But like those are very impressive games.
Yes.
Kojima then you have Kojima Productions. So you
just
have
Metal Gear Solid,
just Metal Gear,
CD Projekt Red, just Witcher.
But the thing about that is, I thought about that same thing. The thing about CD Projekt Red though is all that free DLC, all that support. Okay. I mean, the game's only been out for less than a year at this point. How many patches? Okay. How many DLCs have come out? Like, they've added in different ways for your character to move because they had a lot of backlash on, like, the movement of the character. Gotcha. They've added a bunch of stuff. So, like, that, I'm like, okay, they should be there. From Software, I mean, what we got Bloodborne, and we got some Dark Souls stuff, too. Like an expansion or, like, a remaster or something like that this year. So, like, they had a lot of stuff going out. And then Bethesda just had Fallout.
Yeah.
Fallout Shelter and Fallout 4.
A Fallout Shelter, a.k.a. Tiny Towers Fallout, was pretty fun.
Yeah. So, like, I don't think Kojima Productions should be on this list. And honestly, I don't think CD Projekt Red should have won. I think Nintendo should have won. I guess that's my bias and fanboy coming out. And I love the fact that CD Projekt Red is supporting their game way after release. But you know who else did that? Nintendo. I mean, how much free DLC has come out for Splatoon? And how much have they been supporting Mario?
Nintendo released their first new IP in years.
Right, and it's good.
Fantastic.
And they're supporting it.
And not only was it a new IP, it's an IP that went into a genre that they hadn't been in before.
Right, it's kind of like
and they rocked it.
Overwatch.
Not only did they rock it, they said that they were going to make like a first-person shooter that could be enjoyed by both kids and adults, and they succeeded.
Right,
that's the craziest part.
And like I said, like it's the support after the fact that they keep coming out with these free DLC packs, new stages, new weapons, new clothing, like all sorts of cool stuff there, and then all this Mario Maker stuff. Like they keep. Uploading levels that are made by Nintendo. Obviously, it's mostly community driven. They just started that website that's making it easier for them to find levels and all that kind of stuff.
That is big.
And the biggest thing though is that Nintendo's finally showing some competence when it comes to online, like their online platform. They've never really done this shit before. Yeah. And I know it's kind of like, why should we give them credit for like finally getting up to speed with the rest of the competition? But you know what? It's Nintendo, and they're doing it the right way, right from the start. They're not tripping over themselves like other developers are. They, just like Nintendo usually does, is that they take their time and they make quality decisions and quality products. So that this is that,
Yeah.
So I feel like they should have won. That award.
All right. Well, going on to our next one, the announcements that happened in there.
Okay. Go ahead. List off whatever you want to go to first.
Well, to me, the biggest announcement for me was Psychonauts 2.
Yeah, that's huge. Awesome.
That was a legit surprise for me.
Oh yeah, I did not see that coming.
Yeah, that was big. Yeah. So yeah, that one is definitely my best announcement for that night.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. And like, one thing I don't like about it is just like, so is Double Fine just a crowd-funded company now? Is that like all they do?
Apparently it is.
All their games are like, if they don't crowdfund, they don't make games anymore. I guess that's how it works. But like, and I understand like the way that it works for Double Fine games, that they're just not taking the money from the consumer and then that's it. They're getting money from other investors too, and they're putting their own money into it. Like, I watched a whole Double Fine documentary on what was that adventure game? Fucking hey, what was it called? Shit, why am I blanking on this?
I'm blanking on it too. Shit. But yeah, let's see. So yeah, the ones that were announced were like Psychonauts 2, the Rock Band game.
Oh, who cares?
Yeah, yeah, pretty much. But yeah, Double Fine. Yeah, the Rock Band VR, Batman Telltale games.
Yeah, that seems interesting. Like, I wonder what stories they're gonna tell.
Mm-hmm.
And I like the fact that so they're taking an IP
Mm-hmm.
that hasn't been told like this yet, right? So like every Batman game that you've played before, they try to make it this action game. Like
Yeah.
let's show Batman beat the shit out of somebody. Like, and it always comes down to like combat mechanics and this and that. And I know that the Arkham games did really well with the storytelling.
Yeah.
But it's like, hey, if you could just focus solely on storytelling and telling a good Batman story, it could be really fun. I think that game could turn out really well.
If,
And
if it turns out anywhere to the level of Tales from the Borderlands, I'm
Right.
pretty excited for it.
Or Walking Dead season 1.
Yes,
like
or
that
the
was-
Walking Dead games. Yeah.
Or what Fables, was that the other one that apparently people really liked?
I'm not sure about that one. Oh shoot, I can't remember.
think-
I can't remember the ones I remember would be our Walking Dead, Poker Night at the Inventory, and Tales from the Borderlands. Those are the only three that I can remember from Telltale.
I think it's called Fables. I think that's what it's called.
Is that
But,
the one
like,
about-
but yeah, with like the Wolfman, like it's
Okay.
based on a graphic novel.
Oh, that one.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
a
yeah.
wolf. It's called Wolf Among Us.
Oh yeah, that's it. Yeah,
Mhm.
Fables is the comic book, but yeah,
Yes.
Wolf Among Us is the
Yes. Yeah. Wolf Among Us is the game you're thinking of.
Yeah,
That's the
yeah.
one
And
with
yeah,
all the
apparently,
character
apparently that was really good too. So like, I trust Telltale, and they just pump out games now. I mean, like we're missing the Minecraft game, and we're missing the Game of Thrones one too. Like, but apparently both of those are like decent games. So like, I'm anxious to see where they go with it. What story are they going to tell? Are they going to try to like include all of Batman's rogues gallery of bad guys? Like, who knows? That might have been probably the most exciting thing for me. Like the prospect of telling an awesome Batman story,
Yeah.
that in interactive fashion where gameplay mechanics aren't weighing it down. Like I'm interested to see that.
Oh yeah, I agree. I
Very
definitely
much so.
agree. I definitely agree on that one. But yeah, so there weren't too many announcements, but the ones that they made were pretty big. Specifically with, like I said, Psychonauts 2. You got
Oh,
and
here's a
go for it.
Here's a good question. Last year Game Awards, we got our first extended look at the new Zelda game.
Yeah, and we
This
haven't heard
year-
anything since.
This year we got Psychonauts 2. Question for you, Kyle. Which one was bigger?
Ooh.
Ooh.
Well, then again, let's put it this way: we always knew that there was going to be another Zelda game eventually.
True.
So while it was a gigantic announcement, I would say
It was
Psychonauts 2 is bigger mainly because it hit so many people by surprise.
Okay, next question. Which is more unexpected, Psychonauts 2 or Final Fantasy VII Remake? When they first announced it at E3,
Ooh,
which one was bigger? Which is a bigger surprise?
I would say Psychonauts 2 is the bigger surprise, but Final Fantasy 7 had the bigger reaction,
What?
had the better reaction.
I completely disagree.
Well, hear me out.
I'm listening.
They had made Final Fantasy remakes before.
Well, I mean, they
the
made-
bigger surprise the
they
bigger
made
surprise about the
sequels.
Final Fantasy 7 remake was how they're doing. The bigger surprise for me was how, rather than just doing like a little graphic update like they did like they did with Final Fantasy X, what there is how they're changing it into like the Advent Children style. That was the biggest surprise for me with the Final Fantasy 7 remake. Psychonauts 2 for the game itself was more surprising to me.
Okay, I see your logic there.
Yes.
I do disagree because it's one of those. It was one of those like gaming unicorns, right? Like it's of legend. Like they're never gonna do a Final Fantasy VII remake, even though everybody's claimed to see it or claims that they want it so badly. It's like it's never gonna happen. No way. Just like Shenmue 3, it's like it's never.
That was a bigger surprise to me than Shenmue 3 was a bigger surprise to me than Final Fantasy 7.
It's one of those things like it's never gonna fucking happen, and it's like, whoa, shit, it's actually happening. Like, I feel like same way about Psychonauts, but at the same time, it's like, yeah, Double Fine just crowdfunds everything, so why can't they make this game? Like, and there's that rumor floating around for a while. Well, Notch wanted to like completely fund a Psychonauts 2, like since he has like $1.5 billion now.
Of course.
So I don't know, like. That wasn't super surprising to me. It was a delight, but the whole Final Fantasy VII thing, it's like, good lord, it's like it's been floating out there for so long, and now it's actually happening. And I guess this is a good transition to the argument that we had a couple of days ago about the battle system of Final Fantasy VII. So, just for everybody who hasn't seen the trailer, at the PlayStation Experience, they showed their first, I guess, big portion of gameplay and footage of this new Final Fantasy remake. In that trailer, they showed the battle system, which, for those who are not familiar, Final Fantasy VII was the first major turn-based RPG for the PlayStation. So very much like each character has a little timer bar, and they make decisions based on, every time that timer bar goes up. So very much a turn-based traditional JRPG. The first footage they showed of this game is not that. It is not that. It is very much not that. It's an action-based, real-time fighting, kind of like a Kingdom Hearts game, kind of like the direction they're going with the newest Final Fantasy game. Was it 15? Kind of looks like that. Kyle, I know you're not very excited about that. Tell me why.
Aside from the fact that I am a huge fan of turn-based battle systems, just from growing up with them. I couldn't stand the Kingdom Hearts battle system, nor could I stand the Final Fantasy 12 battle system.
Oh,
I hated them with a passion. Oh, I've played them. I tried to like them. I am a gigantic Final Fantasy fan. I am a big Disney fan. I wanted to get into the games, but the stories were fine. But whenever the battles happened, it was just like, I hate this. This is god awful. What the hell is going on? But here's the thing. I know that there are a bajillion people out there that are going to call me an idiot because I didn't like oh, shut up, you. That loved the Kingdom Hearts battle system. I didn't like it. Like, to me, the best Final Fantasy battle system was Final Fantasy X. It's because you could see the order of the turns come up. You could strategize. You could plan out. You could say, okay, this guy is going to defend this turn. This guy is going to use magic. This guy is going to attack and maybe draw the fire. But when you're in live action, it's a pain in the ass to switch between characters. Like in Final Fantasy 12, you were forced to essentially use the other characters with AI controls. Kind of like what happened with 13, though 13 was a lot more turn-based. But it was more like a hybrid between 10 and 12. Whereas, you still only really controlled one character, but it still felt more like a turn-based thing than 12 did. 15, when I played the beta, I didn't like it. It's like, it doesn't feel like a JRPG to me.
Well, here's the
correction.
thing.
It doesn't feel like a Final Fantasy game to me, mainly because I grew up with the turn-based battle systems.
But that's the thing. Grew up. The industry's grown up. Everybody's grown up, and it's not the same as it used to be.
Because no one's trying the turn-based systems anymore.
No, Kyle, that is not it. Because that market is now on the handheld. Final Fantasy VII
can't be on the TV as well.
Hold on. Final Fantasy VII, which is, one of the big... Well, I guess we could say 10. 10 is one of the biggest turn-based RPGs
It just
that's ever came
it had
out.
a crappy story, but
Well,
the battle
okay,
system was
here's-
fantastic.
Right. So, your opinion, but still, that was a very much turn-based battle system. Whereas when you get to 12, not so much. 13, not so much. Like they're iterations on that, but it's not the same as like the old school turn-based battle system. Now, tech has increased so much in that amount of time. So
I agree.
much. That was a PS2 game, you know, like a Final Fantasy 7 was a PlayStation 1. No, I'm talking about
10, yeah.
10, yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So, and Final Fantasy 7 is a PlayStation 1 game. So the things that they can do now go way beyond turn-based, way beyond that, and for them to make it worth it. To make this game, they wanted to do more stuff with it. They have, like I told you before.
I mean, like make it episodic?
Okay, I'm okay with that. I have no problem with that. As long as each episode is nice, tight, compact, and like tells a good story.
And lower price.
And does the game justice. Like, I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit about any of that. Like I told you before.
Hey, I'm not paying $60 for it.
This game's gonna cost so much money to make because it's not like any of the other remakes where they're just putting a new fresh coat of paint on it. There's no way that the code. No, but Kyle, think about development. The original Final Fantasy VII ran on PlayStation 1s. There's no way does that code work on a PlayStation 4 now. They have already iterated on systems so many times that is just not even there anymore. Like it would take just as much time to make that game, like the framework, work on PS4s as it would to start all over again like they have. You know, like they have to weigh those development costs. And like I was saying, turn-based is kind of an old school approach to JRPGs. And that's not selling like hotcakes. If they want this game to make them a ton of money like they want it to, they have to make it appeal to more people than just us, Kyle. Like we grew up with it. We're gonna buy this game regardless, right?
I was gonna propose you a question. I was gonna say, well, if it was gonna be a turn-based game, would you still buy it?
100%.
Exactly.
Because no.
Exactly. And just the name alone.
Kyle, you're proving my point.
It has name recognition alone.
No, because a 13-year-old right now doesn't know Final Fantasy VII. He doesn't know who the fuck Cloud is. I guarantee you that. If I talk to my little cousins who are 12 and 13 respectively, if I asked them right now, tell me what you know about Final Fantasy, they would not know anything. They don't know anything.
They would just say Cloud.
No,
they wouldn't say anything else.
They would not say anything.
Or
they have no idea. Kyle, they don't know what this is. So yes, you have to make something that's flashy and that's gonna like attract them because they need to sell this to everybody. Final Fantasy VII sold to everybody because that was the pinnacle of gaming at the time. This is like they need to do that again if they're going to sell like they sold that game. So it makes all the sense in the world to me. I'm okay with active battle systems. I like the Kingdom Hearts games. Like I see where you're coming from. It was like there's not as much quote unquote.
It's not a style I like.
But like I understand that your offense to the fact that it's like there's not as much strategy. Quote, but there really is. Like I like games where I'm actively doing more stuff. Like I do have to strategize. Like in the Kingdom Hearts games, did you ever fight against Sephiroth in those games?
Yeah,
those
it was a pain in the ass.
Yeah, it's extremely strategic. You can't just run in there and slam buttons and win. You have to think about every single move.
Fine. So run, slice, run away.
Okay, try that. Go back and watch somebody play that. That is not how you take down that boss. Not in the slightest bit.
That's how I took him down.
Yeah.
Hit, run.
Yeah,
Run, dodge. Don't get hit. Run, hit.
Oh, so you have to dodge and stuff too. Oh, that's
no,
fun.
meaning don't get in the way of an attack.
Back at him. Yeah, there's a lot going on in that fight that you're down.
Not as much as I would like.
Yeah. Okay.
Or correction, no. It can have a lot of stuff going on. Yes. The thing is, I think it's better suited with the turn base, so you can strategize. Like, then again, I'm also a guy. I love Civilization, like the Civilization series. Like, I love turn-based games.
Yeah. So, and that's great. And there's going to be plenty of opportunities to play games like that. This game is too important to hedge bets on that. It is.
People will
I'm
still buy it
sorry.
regardless.
I don't. Yes, people will, but not enough people will. That's the difference. Is that it will sell, but it won't sell to the new market. Because I don't know if I telling you.
It looks
this
like a glorified.
Oh,
the game looks beautiful. I will say that.
Follow this train of thought with me for a second, Kyle. So,
Choo-choo.
me and you have PS4s, right?
Yes.
Okay. So, we're big time gamers. We stuck with the hobby.
Mm-hmm.
How many copies were sold of Final Fantasy VII? You know, it got to be a greatest hits, right? So that's well over multi-million units sold.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think every single one of those people are going to buy that game again?
For the HD version, yes.
Dude.
For the HD version, yes.
Not even close, because a lot of those people were very young, you know, maybe 10 to 13 years old when that game came out. It's like, yeah, I'm going to
And now now they're older with money.
No, and now they have families and they have jobs and they don't play games as much. Like, yeah, there are a ton of people that do that. There are people like you and I, and you know, the key demographic is what? 18 to 35, like it's in that wheelhouse, but not all of them play games like they used to. I can name off numerous some of my friends that when we talk about gaming, old school gaming, Final Fantasy VII always comes up. But none of those people have PS4s, and none of them really stick with gaming the way that we do.
So yeah, I could give you that they're trying to aim for a younger audience. I think that they should have brought back the turn-based system to see how it fared.
But just like you said, it doesn't matter because we're gonna buy it.
Yeah, we're gonna buy it regardless. And
so
then
it doesn't
when the kids
matter.
have it.
So they have to go after another market. And you know what? And maybe it's just that this is what they ultimately wanted to do with the series, but now they can do it because
you
want
to know how to get the younger market. You make the game look very pretty, which it does. Like I said, that's all they needed to do. Give it the Advent Children coding. Like, yeah, you could upgrade the map design to make it look nicer. But
I bet a kid wouldn't understand turn-based combat right now. They would
kids
stare.
are idiots, but that's beside the point.
No, but that's not it. It's just different. Like our parents did that about us for sitting in front of the fucking TV playing Final Fantasy VII. You know, like it's just difference of the generation. You know, it's just different.
It's the
ADD
generation then.
Not even.
They have to be constantly stimulated with action.
No, but like it's just different. And like if I sat my nieces, like my eldest niece, she's 10 years old.
Oh.
So that's right around the time where I played that game. If I sat her down with that, she would get bored instantly. She would not be into it. Would move
so then it's kind of like what I said. The kids just aren't entertained. It's like they need the constant stimulus. They need the constant action.
Right.
Which is why they get bored.
Battle system they're making.
And that's what makes me depressed.
You know what? It seems to you like it's a societal issue, but at the same time, Sony's trying to make money, and this is the way that they're going about doing it. And I'm okay with it. And you know what? Let's go to the episodic thing. I don't care about that either. I don't care about that. Yeah, I don't. Because you know what? I want to play this game. And you know what? If they're able to break this game up into episodes and make it kind of easier to follow, because try to go back and play Final Fantasy VII and tell me that game is easy to follow. Tell me that story is coherent all the way through.
No JRPG has been coherent since Final Fantasy 1.
Final Fantasy VI makes complete sense from the start to the end. That game makes a ton of sense. It's not all over the place. 7 takes all these twists and turns, Cloud's identity, and like his memory being all fucked up, and for some reason, Tifa, like her memory's all fucked up for no reason. Like she's the key to this whole thing. She could have changed, like that game would have gone nowhere if she would just be like, "Hey, Cloud, you're not who you think you are. Done. Like game over. Credits roll. Done." So if they can make that story coherent in an episodic format, I'm all about it because I would love that story to make sense again.
I was able to follow it when I was a kid.
Okay,
I got the gist of it. If somebody asked me what is this game about, I could tell you the whole story. But like the fine details of that game, you know, like if you're looking at it like a movie.
So you're saying that it shouldn't be a complex RPG?
That is completely not what I said. That's way out of you're.
That's
just,
it's like it's sounding like it's.
No,
I apologize. It sounded like you want, but like you want it to be episodic to make it easier to follow. But when it's like that, it takes the complexity away.
Not at all. You could still
like
tell
it would have no side. It would have no side quests. Like all the Wu-Tai crap.
Even. You can have side quests still. It's just like make the main narrative make sense. The Witcher 3 has 1 billion side quests. But that game's
fantastic.
Yeah, exactly. That game's story makes
that's
a
not
ton
episodic.
Of sense.
It's a one gigantic game.
Yeah, but you know what? This is how they have to do it to make sense. I'm okay with it. Like I don't care. I am okay with it because their justification is that they would not be able to make this game to the quality that they feel should be. So unless they do this episodic format, you know what? I trust their judgment. Like whatever you have to do to make this game come out, do it. I don't care. I don't care. I want to play it.
Oh yeah. It's like I definitely want to play it. Yes, though I am worried.
However they make it happen, just make it happen. You know what? If it ends up sucking, oh man, too bad. That's a bummer.
well,
that's a real bummer. But there's nothing we can do.
Well, they're hedging their bets on this.
Yeah, there's nothing we can do about it. Like they have answered the call and they're making the game. So I can't be mad at them.
I am not mad. I am not mad for them making the game. I am. Oh, that's the thing. I'm not mad. It's just like. I'm just disappointed.
Furious.
No. I'm not furious. I'm passionate about a game that I grew up and really enjoyed. And it's not even my favorite Final Fantasy, but I still love the game.
Yeah, same here, 100%. And don't take my comments as not being that, because I'm very much passionate and excited and everything else about this game. 8, you are a high person. This doesn't make any sense. Everybody who says that, I don't get it. Let's not get into that. Let me finish my point. I'm okay.
That is an argument for another time.
Yeah, I am okay with the evolution of this series into something else. I am okay with it. I don't want to keep living in the past. Let's move forward. Because if they knock this out of the park, fuck yeah, man. This could be great.
Hey, if I end up being wrong, then I end up being wrong.
Hey, you know what? I hope so. Actually, I know so.
That's the thing. I hope I'm wrong as well.
Yeah.
But from the things that they've done in the past with the battle systems of Kingdom Hearts and Final Fantasy 12 and what's going to be Final Fantasy 15, I am worried.
I'm more worried about Final Fantasy 15 than I am of
Really?
I'm more worried about that game than I am about
Okay.
Because it's been in development hell forever. That's never a good sign. You know, like look at Duke Nukem Forever. That game took forever to come out and it was awful. Look at Aliens Colonial Marines. That game took forever and it fucking sucked. You know, for every one game that you could say like, oh, it took forever in development, but it was actually good.
Fallout 4?
Okay, but that wasn't in development hell. That was just took a long time to develop. There's a difference. You know, like
then there's Beyond Good and Evil, which still has yet to come.
Right? Yeah. I mean, like, look. So let's go back to Duke Nukem Forever and Aliens Colonial Marines. Those are both in the public eye for a long time. People knew about this game for a very long time. It was
Fortress 2.
Shown. Team Fortress 2. What about
that? Was in development hell for a long time as well.
I don't know about that. Like, maybe I wasn't following games as closely as I do now when that game first came out. But like, okay, so there's one good example.
Team Fortress 2 and Duke Nukem Forever were both games that essentially were mythological. It's like what Half-Life 3 is now.
Yeah, but like, I don't know. I trust Valve a lot more than I trust some of these other companies. But like,
this is true.
Especially Square. Square is very much on my like. They're teetering on like you guys kind of suck at life.
They did very well with how they rebuilt Final Fantasy 14. That one wasn't. That one.
Oh
was
yeah,
in
that was
development for a
great.
while,
Yeah,
too.
I played that
It's-
game for a while.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
really-
The game when it came out at first,
it was garbage. Yeah, it was broken.
yeah, it was one of the worst MMOs out there,
and
and then they
built it into
redid
the
it.
best. They built it into the best. I like it better than WoW. I
Oh
mean,
yeah,
like,
oh
WoW
yeah.
has-
I like it better than WoW. Hell, it's
Oh, it's the
and it's paid and it's still subscription based.
Yeah, yeah. Which
Great.
I wish.
Well,
it was
I wish it was free to play like Guild Wars 2, but
but like the services they're putting into that game,
Yes.
it makes sense. Like
They're
there's
making
a
it worth the
lot in
cost.
that game. Yeah, and I paid to play that game for months, and I really enjoyed it. I wish I could still keep my subscription to that and keep my characters and continue to play it when I feel like it, but I can't.
Well, here's the
justify.
thing: you don't lose your characters. Characters are still
Okay, so-
there. It's
well,
just
I still can't. I can't justify the cost. I can barely play the games I enjoy.
that,
now.
yeah, that's the thing. It's like
I can't fit an MMO into my
Yeah.
life. It's just not gonna
being my current situation. I'm able to play it. I'm able to play it, so I can justify the cost of it.
right. Yeah, but but that's not gonna last forever, Kyle. Like
Oh, I
you
know. Yeah,
as we grow up, like MMOs just are not gonna fit into our lives,
that's
and
that
it
that that that
sucks.
is the sad part.
and it
Granted,
sucks.
there are- Well, it depends on what happens. Hopefully, we can. Maybe we won't. Who knows? But let's see some of the other announcements.
I don't necessarily want it to. Like I kind of want life to continue on.
Yeah.
But anyways,
Yeah. So let's see what other announcements that you remember from the PlayStation experience aside from Final Fantasy.
what else do I remember? Dialogue options in
Yes.
Uncharted 4. I think it's stupid.
Yes.
I think it's dumb.
Mm,
I don't think it's gonna have any bearing on the game at all. It's just gonna be like a fun little thing during cutscenes. That's it. It's gonna. It's
but
not
that's the
gonna-
thing. It's something they do in the cutscenes.
Sure, but I like the fact that Last of Us and Uncharted. Here is a point A to point B story, and they're gonna tell it to you how you want it, how they want it to be told, not like a Half-Life 4 or not Half-Life 4, or like Fallout 4 or any of these
Half-Life 4?
not like any of these stupid Bethesda games where it's like, here, you get to make your own story. Like, I don't want that. I want you to tell me a story that's really fucking good, that's like a movie, that's very cinematic. That's what Last of Us was. That's what all the Uncharted games have been. So this little feature, while it's like a cool little addition, if it detracts from that story at all, I'm gonna be very upset.
Yeah.
I want that. Tell me a great story. Let me put like.
Okay.
I might be one of the only people out
I
there
agree.
that didn't mind in Metal Gear Solid games that they have these cutscenes that are way too fucking long and they're like crazy cinematic.
It's a cinematic experience.
Yeah, you just put the controller down and you watch. I'm okay with that. As long as it's good, as long
Yes.
as game parts in between those story bits are really good and the story's really good, I'll put the controller down and watch all day.
Until they add a quick time event.
Yeah, I don't. You know what? Like, I remember the first game that caught me off guard with those things. Resident Evil 4. Because I remember
Yeah.
I put the controller down. I was like, oh, we're gonna see this really cool thing, and all of a sudden, bam! I get my head chopped off by a
Press
zombie.
X
Like,
to
what the-
not die.
Yeah, it's like, what the fuck just happened? Like, no. So anyways,
But yeah,
I
so
thought
honestly,
that was a weird thing.
yeah.
That was-
Honestly, most of the announcements at the PlayStation experience were mostly just like little game or already announced game updates.
Except for
like-
Nino Kuni 2,
Yeah,
bro.
Nino Kuni. That I said most. There
can't
was
wait.
that was the significantly other notice.
Well, and Paragon. Paragon's pretty big.
I didn't really look at that one too much, but yeah, most of them. Honestly, I was looking at more at MLB The Show 16, but that's just me because I'm a giant baseball fan.
Hey, but going back to what we were talking about Final Fantasy VII, like you want your turn-based, JRPGs back, Nino Kuni, here it is.
Yeah, I am
first-
excited for that one.
The first Nino Kuni, I loved the
Mm-hmm.
first Nino Kuni. I absolutely loved and treasured that game. I would play it through again, but it was over 100 hours. Like I still, because I played that game when it first came out. I don't know how I fit that game into my life. Like I don't
Yeah.
remember how I was able to do that. Really thoroughly enjoyed that game, and I'm excited for this one. I'm going to try to fit this one in too because I really liked this type of game.
Yeah, definitely.
So these are those
and
exceptions.
and yeah, Nino Kuni 2 will be my TV RPG.
Yeah, and like this is those exceptions to the rules where they can still get away with turn-based combat and old school traditions because it's level 5, because it's Studio Ghibli. Like, dude, level 5 is the developer that Square Enix used to be. Square Enix isn't what, like,
they've had an exodus of talent. They're a different company than what they were back in the 90s and early 2000s. You know, like Level 5 is that developer now. So like
that's
you go to where those games are at. Like you're not going to get a bunch of. When was the last time Level 5 had like a huge console game? Probably Ni no Kuni.
I was gonna say, that was our last one, and that's
so like
that's 14
so that's where you find that stuff. It's not Final Fantasy is not that anymore.
No, which is unfortunate.
It sucks, but you know what? I really enjoyed Ni no Kuni, and I think this one can be just as good, if not better.
Yeah. Well, the other thing that I noticed that I think that is more in your wheelhouse, they announced a few things for Street Fighter V.
Oh my god, I'm pumped! Fucking Alex, Yuri, and Ibuki coming back. Let's.
But it's the only thing I have with that. Why are they post-release characters?
Because that's the model. Okay, so.
But specifically, no. For me, more specifically, you finally have Charlie back in the game as Nash.
Yeah.
Why is Guile a later release character? Why isn't he in like the front and center of this one?
Okay, but I'll tell you exactly why. So Street Fighter V is now a platform. It is not a game. It's a Street Fighter platform. So you're never gonna see Super Street Fighter V. You're not gonna see Ultra Street Fighter V Arcade Edition. Like that's not happening anymore.
That I have no problem with. That I'm fine with.
You didn't have a problem with that? I had a huge problem with
not
that.
as much.
Because they're selling you
episodic gaming.
But they're selling you it's not even close to that because they're selling you a $35 edition of the game that's just basically it's a patch. That's all it's just like the $20 to $30 you pay on Destiny content, but you actually get more out of it with Street Fighter because you can play that game a lot more than you can play through Destiny, in my opinion.
Unless you do a lot more in terms of like rating or PvP, but that's about it.
Yeah, I mean like. Fighting games to me always have more replayability than any other game out there. Just personal opinion. But anyway.
Speaking of Destiny, it's Sparrow Racing.
Pretty dumb. Who cares? But the fact that they have this like continuous schedule of characters coming out later, I'm okay with that because you're constantly rolling in somebody new to the meta. It's almost like they took a page out of the MOBA book, where all of a sudden you introduce a new hero or quote unquote a character. And now that changes up the dynamics at tournaments. You know, it's not like when, let's say, the jump from Super Street Fighter to Super Street Fighter Arcade Edition, where they drop in new characters, they rebalance everything, and everything's different all at once.
Yeah.
When they drop in this new character, like I'm sure there's gonna be balance changes and stuff like that, but it's like, okay, here's one new character that's gonna shake up the meta in different ways.
You mean more like Smash Brothers?
Yeah, I'm cool with that. Totally cool with that. And I like the fact that I'm not going to have to pay $30 to get one or two new characters in a couple of stages.
Yeah.
What I'm going to be able to do is buy it through in-game currency that I can either spend real money on or just play the game enough, just like a MOBA, and be able to unlock that character for free. Like, that's how I'm going to play that game, you know? Like, actually, I'll probably end up buying all the characters. Who am I kidding? I'm a Street Fighter fanboy. But I like that option. I like that option. I like that, the platform that they're building is kind of like the modern video game.
I agree with that.
They'll have cool stuff in there to earn these points. I like it.
Yeah.
I like it. And you know what? I think, is it Fang or Fong? Whatever. Like,
Fang.
That guy, he actually looks pretty cool.
He looks different.
It's different. It's weird. Like all the characters they've shown so far are very, very different.
Yes.
Which is something you haven't been able to say about Street Fighter in a long time. Because Street Fighter 4, they had so many characters and they had different styles and stuff like that. But there were so many characters where you're gonna have 5 or 6 Shoryu characters. Like they're gonna be in there.
Because there are too many Dan clones out there like that. Ken and Ryu.
Yeah,
they're just clones of Dan.
Evil Ken, right? Ken, Ryu, evil Ryu, Akuma, what's it? Go. What's the guy's fucking name? Is that Go?
You're thinking of Goku, aren't you?
No, Goken.
Goken.
Yeah, like so. These are all like Shoryu characters. There's even more than that too.
Shoryu character.
But
Fong is different.
I like the way this game is going. and I like the systems they have in place. And again, I like that they're bringing Alex back. I like that Karen's back. Karen hasn't been seen in a Street Fighter game since Street Fighter Alpha 3.
Yeah, Karen's a big addition.
And what's the wrestler chick? Armika. She hasn't been seen since. Well, she was in Street Fighter Alpha 3, but she was first introduced in 2, I think.
Now you can have Armika and Cammy on the same team.
I'm okay with it. I'm totally fine with that.
I think most guys are okay with it too.
Yeah. But I like it. I like where they're going. I think they're headed in the right direction.
Yeah. Honestly, the only issue I had is that I think Guile should be a character that they have on release just for their story mode.
And it might be like that.
It's because you have Nash back. Who's the main guy who was always searching for him?
Well, yeah.
Guile.
Yeah, right. But but think about it this way: like maybe with these new characters coming in, it's gonna add new chunks to like your one player story mode, and maybe it's episodic content. You know, because if you look at the release schedule there, Guile's number 2.
Yes.
Alex is the first one that comes out.
I think didn't they go in I thought that was alphabetical.
I don't think so. No, because
right. Yep.
Ibuki was high up on that list too. It's not alphabetical, but so maybe it's a story based thing. I don't know. Like it could be a lot of different things. But
maybe they'll all have their individual story mode. Who knows?
Yeah,
and it is something that I'm looking forward to. That and cool. Battleborn.
Really, you think Battleborn's gonna be good?
I think it has potential. Battleborn and Overwatch both have a lot of potential.
From everything that I've heard from people that have played both games, is that Overwatch is by far the better game. Battleborn does some cool stuff, but Overwatch is way better.
Battleborn looks more like a MOBA. It looks more like a third-person MOBA.
And I'm cool with that. I like it.
So it's essentially they're actually like two different games. While Overwatch is more Team Fortress 2, Battleborn is more like Monday Night Combat or Smite or something like that.
Right.
Except more like a shooter. But hey, it's made by Gearbox. I have high hopes.
Gearbox is they're hit or miss, man. They're hit or miss. Like,
you're right. It's like their hits are Borderlands, their misses are most everything else. So hopefully we'll see something good. Hopefully this will create a new franchise for them.
Their hits hit really hard, but their fails. And you know what? There's one other thing too that I want to mention is that so we're all high and mighty on Borderlands. Remember the last Borderlands game proper that came out, that Moon expansion or whatever?
Oh, the pre-sequel
game. The pre-sequel that sucked. It sucked.
I didn't think it sucked. I think that they should have released that before Borderlands 2, or at least made that more like a Borderlands 2 expansion. But the main thing is the game itself wasn't bad. It's just while people were expecting a actual maybe a sequel to Borderlands 2, this is more like I'm trying to think of a good of like a movie example where they released like a prequel. I can't.
Star Wars.
There you go. No, not like that. But it's you already kind of know what happens to everyone, but I don't know. It in terms of story, it was the weaker one, but it did flesh out a lot of characters that you were familiar with too. That was the main purpose. But because of that, it should not have been a full price game, and it should have been more of a expansion, maybe like a going back to episodic gaming. It should have been more of like an episodic expansion to Borderlands.
Oh man, it's almost like episodic gaming is like a viable way of putting out your game. It's like it's crazy, right? It's like a crazy thing.
But no, it's well. Since we are running low on time, what would you say would be the biggest announcement aside from Final Fantasy VII from the PlayStation experience?
That was it. That was like the biggest thing for me. I guess seeing some more
aside from Final Fantasy VII.
Seeing some more footage from FarCry Primal. I think that game looks
we never talked about that one yet.
No, we did.
Let's finish it off with the Primal then.
It looks sweet.
Yes, it does.
It looks like Beastmaster the game.
It looks like what Turok should be.
Yeah, that's actually a really good point. It looks like what Turok should be for sure.
Yes.
Except you don't get to train dinosaurs. You get saber-toothed tigers and wolves and shit and
That's
bears.
true.
You get a fucking bear, bro.
Riding the bear army.
That's so cool. Like
It's different.
I got jacked.
That's different.
I got jacked watching that trailer. I was
Nice.
pumped.
Yeah, that game looks very interesting. That's it looks different. That's
Yeah,
what it looks
it does.
like. It looks very different,
And you know
but
what?
in a good way.
When I saw this game like first announced, I instantly thought, well, how is this going to be different than Horizon Zero Dawn? You know, like 'cause they're both going after that kind of
Yes.
like primitive, sense of things.
It's funny how
but
that happens.
they like now that I've seen the gameplay footage, it's like, okay, these are two entirely different games. Like Horizon Zero Dawn almost looks like a hunting game in a lot of respects, whereas Primal,
Monster Hunter.
yeah, kind of, but probably way better and actually playable. Unlike Monster Hunter.
Yeah, you might get some hate mail from that one.
Hey, I'm not trying to make any fans here. Like I will bash Monster Hunter all day long. So game looks like it could be a lot of fun, but there's way too much bullshit involved.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So
I'll agree with that one.
Make that game more playable, and I'll play it all day. But not gonna happen. But yeah, I'm excited for Primal. It should be cool.
Yeah. Yes, it does. And like I said, after Far Cry 4, which I thought was a fantastic game, this is an interesting way of taking the next one. Basically putting it inside an area that hasn't really been done a lot lately. And now we essentially have like two quote unquote Primal type games where we have the robot dinosaur one. We have a Turok coming out eventually soon, like an HD remake of Turok. And we have Far Cry Primal. So it's going to be an interesting... It's kind of like how you always seem to see everything of like a similar theme come out at the same time.
Yeah, exactly. Like volcano movies, meteorite movies, they all come out at the same time.
And I guess we have Primal-style games coming out at the same time.
That's how it is.
I don't know.
All right,
But
I
yeah.
gotta get going, Kyle, but this was fun.
Indeed. Yeah, thank you very, very much for coming on the podcast tonight. I thought we got some very good topics going.
Indeed.
And for those who decide to listen in, thank you very much for listening in. And for Tony and myself, K7, thank you very much for listening. Have a good night. Bye-bye now.